Welcome to the Real Boardloft. I'm Trip Forman, and this is the new Lost Crowd Killer Round first look video. So the reason we do these first look videos is to just give you some three-dimensional looks at these boards. And we just got the Lost Crowd Killer Round in stock. So rather than just looking at flat photos of the deck and the bottom, you can check out the outline, the rocker, the rails, and just overall get the sex appeal on this board, because this thing, first impression on this board is absolutely smoking hot. This board, I'm going to throw it out there right now that in the category of big guy shortboards, that this is the sexiest looking big guy shortboard of all time. I'm just going to throw that label around, and maybe there'll be a 60-50 chance of somebody picking it up in mainstream media. The Crowd Killer was a new board with Lost last year, and right out of the blocks did really well. We got great feedback. They sold well, got great feedback from the people that purchased them. And this is a spin on that board. If you remember, the Crowd Killer, the regular version of it has a double wing swallowtail, and so the round tail is going to reduce the tail area in the back of the board. So even, like forward where the front fins are, it's still about the same width, but then it pulls it in rather than going straight out the back, and it reduces that tail area out the back of the board. And what that does is it gives it the ability to ride it in bigger surf without sacrificing the small wave power that you have in that front fin area. So it's just going to give the board more range. And I think also aesthetically, it just gives it a really nice looking outline to the board as well. Other things that are different on this board compared to the standard Crowd Killer, you're going to need to go a little bit longer to get the same amount of volume, and that's because the board definitely is more foiled out. It's a little bit narrower per length, and it's also more foiled out on the rails and in the tail per length. And so that allows you to ride the board longer without having too much volume. So it gives you a longer rail line, more drive down the line, and the ability to make sections without having the board be too bulky. Because that was the very first thing that I noticed on this one. This board is actually, for me, it's a 7.2, and it's just the stock dimensions. It's 7.2, 21.5, 2.85, and 48 liters. And when I pulled it out of the box, put it under my arm, it just doesn't, it definitely feels obviously 40 plus, but it never feels bulky anywhere. And one of the things that they did on it as well, they shallowed up the concave just a little bit, but then also they pulled down the rails a little bit more as well. So just putting your hand around the rails and holding it, which is going to be the same as like when you dropping the rail into the water on a turn. It's just a lot less bulk on the rails. It's a lot more foiled, although it still has obviously that thickness running down the center line and then all through the deck area, but they really pulled the rails down nicely on this one. So it's a Crowd Killer Round, not a Crowd Killer Step Up, but just a Crowd Killer with more all-around range, especially on the top end. And this is, Lost touts this as being able, that you could basically ride this into, small waves, really easy to surf, but as big as you're going to see, unless obviously you're going to a gun or something like that, on all the mainland breaks and places that you would travel to around the world. So for a more mature surfer, as we like to call them, this would be a great travel board. If you're going on a trip and you want one board that you can handle literally anything, you could do it on this board. As well as it's also going to work at home as well. And also you're looking at, they're all set up 5-fin, so you can ride them either thruster or quad. And it is the Crowd Killer Round from Lost Surfboards, available in PU poly as well as C4 technology with the full cork deck and carbon wrap. Thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions about the Lost Crowd Killer Round, you can give us a call at the shop, 252-987-6000, or you can look us up online, realwatersports.com. We do have them in stock, and we are shipping worldwide daily. Thanks again for tuning in.